Hey everybody, what's going on? Happy Wednesday night. Hopefully everybody is doing okay. I know that nobody literally wants to talk about severe weather, and I'm in that camp. I really don't want to talk about it either. But unfortunately, got to come on here and talk about some storm chances tonight, some of which could be severe. Looks like Facebook's loading up now. YouTube's loading up. I see the chat popping up, so we're rocking and rolling. Guys, be sure, do me a favor, leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you can hear me okay. It seems like a number of people have no idea that this is even a possibility tonight, but I promise I've been posting about it all day. I think everybody's just so tired of it, they don't care. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you're watching this live, it's Wednesday, May 21st at 8:35 p.m. My name is Zachary Hall, otherwise known as the Arkansas Storm Tracker, and welcome into my home, where I'm going to talk to you about severe thunderstorm chances tonight. Before you panic or freak out, this isn't for everybody. So if you live in the state of Arkansas, there is a disclaimer. This is for northern Arkansas. So if you don't live in North Arkansas, you likely won't have much of an issue tonight. But we already have storms on the board. We have storms right now in southwest Missouri now, and this is going to move east-southeast with time tonight into North Arkansas. So if you, I can pull up the risk areas for you guys, if you give me just a second. What happened to my, oh, there, my bad. So this is the risk areas for this evening. We have a slight risk, level 2 of 5, the yellow shaded area specifically. And that is the highest risk area for tonight. And that's basically the National Weather Service's way of communicating to the public that they expect a few strong to severe thunderstorms in North Arkansas. So if you live in Harrison, Batesville, Mountain Home, that's 3 really good examples of kind of areas involved. If you live close to those areas, there's probably a pretty good chance that you have some chances tonight to see a strong storm or two. And there's also a marginal risk, level 1 of 5, that includes some of northwest Arkansas, almost down to central Arkansas, kind of halfway, and then all of northeast Arkansas. So basically north of I-40 tonight. If you live south of I-40, you likely will observe nothing. If you live along the I-40 corridor, your chances are pretty low. And this is, so this is kind of just their way of communicating that not everyone that lives in the yellow shading or the green shading will see severe thunderstorms tonight. I don't want you to think that. But some of you likely will observe a storm or two, and they could be strong. The concern tonight is large hail and strong wind gusts. The tornado risk is extremely low. I do not want you to be up all night panicking, thinking that tornadoes are coming, when in all reality, this is a hail and wind concern, which is still concerning. We have to pay attention to it, but we do have some instability out there. This is the HRRR basically modeling what our thunderstorm fuel looks like tonight, and you can see that I-40 corridor is where the instability really starts. North of I-40, we have some thunderstorm fuel out there and available for storms to use. Looking at high-resolution data, this does a pretty good job of showing how there's a little bit of uncertainty with the forecast, but we can still see a few storms. So obviously we know, we just looked at radar, that there's already storms in southwest Missouri now on radar. But this activity is going to continue southeast tonight. This is, one second, it's an old run. This activity is going to continue southeast tonight across North Arkansas, and you can see the model showing that here. In North Arkansas, a storm here, a storm here. It's just a model. It's not a gospel forecast, but I want you to take from it kind of what I'm referencing, and the fact that we could have a few storms overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning before things kind of fizzle out. We do have chances for more storms tomorrow, and I'll go over that in just a second. We do have an opportunity for some storms across western Arkansas tomorrow, rain and storms that is, along with parts of north central Arkansas too. It's another one of those scattered forecasts. So another day where some of you likely observe nothing while others do. But just to reiterate and kind of repeat myself again, the concern today is for areas north of I-40, especially in north central, northeast, and parts of northwest Arkansas. It is 8:39 p.m. And like we said when we started the video, we already have storms in southwest Missouri. Storms are going to be moving We have northwest flow right now, so the upper level winds are going to be steering this to the southeast. It's not going to be moving from that southwest to northeast flow like we're used to. My arrow is not really good, but you can see this jumbled up storm activity here in southwest Missouri will continue east-southeast with time to time. We have some blips there in northeast Arkansas now, some rain showers in northeast Arkansas. The National Weather Service is expecting to issue severe thunderstorm watches here fairly soon for North Arkansas. If they haven't already, I'm going to get on there and check that real quick. It doesn't look like they have, but they did issue a MD, or otherwise known as a mesoscale discussion, and I'll zoom. I know this is kind of hard to see, guys. The colors is kind of tough to see, but you can see at the top, the National Weather Service stated that the severe weather threat should gradually increase tonight and into the evening hours. And they highlighted in blue a large chunk of North Arkansas from Jonesboro and Paragould west to Batesville, Marshall, Mountain Home, Harrison, Rogers, Bentonville. So you kind of catch my drift here, the northern sections of the state. That's kind of where they're expecting the possibility for some stronger storms tonight. So hopefully that kind of answered some questions. I've noticed on my Facebook posts and stuff and on Twitter, some people seemed a little confused, but I think it's because there was so much focus on the last few days that today really didn't get talked about a whole lot, and for good reason, guys. This is nothing like yesterday or the risk that we had before that. But with that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody in North Arkansas gets woken up to some hail tonight or some stronger wind gust. But nothing we have never seen before, and certainly something we will see again in the future. So I'm going to go through the chat and answer a couple of questions and then get off and go chill and just enjoy my evening and keep an eye on radar. So Gina says, shout out to Jam Mart and 1312 Cleaning and Restoration for sponsoring tonight's live feed. Gina, you're awesome. Yeah, thank you to Jam Mart and 1312. They're amazing. Christian says tornadoes or thunderstorms. So I know what you're asking. You're basically, are we just going to see thunderstorms without tornadoes? And I do think so. Yeah, I don't think we're going to observe much in the way of tornado issues tonight. I think this is a hail and wind concern. So Chris is asking about Mountain Home. Yeah, so Mountain Home is here in North Arkansas. I don't know why it's not showing up on my map. I'm about to change radars, guys. I'm really tired of cities not showing up. But yeah, so Mountain Home's right here. And we have storms in southwest Missouri now, and this activity is going to drift to southeast. So there is a potential that Mountain Home, Harrison, Diamond City, Yellville, Cherokee Village, kind of that part of the state does observe some activity tonight. Taylor says, Rudy, question mark. Taylor, I don't know. I think that's a little far south. I can't say there's a 0% chance, but the chances are much higher to the north and to the northeast of you. Slundle says, what's tomorrow's forecast? So we do have some chances for rain and storms tomorrow as well, especially in the afternoon and evening, but it will likely be scattered, so not a washout, another warm day. Barbara says, what about the River Valley? Not expecting much in the River Valley tonight. This is a North Arkansas concern. Mallory says, tell us about Jonesboro. I just got on. So yeah, we do have some chances for storms tonight in Jonesboro. Some of them could be strong. It might be late tonight before they get there. Much like all of North Arkansas. If you live in northern Arkansas, you have an opportunity tonight to see some thunderstorms. Some of them could be strong, hail, wind. The tornado threat is extremely low. Christian says, what makes a system move south instead of northeast? So the upper level winds are out of the northwest. We call that northwest flow. And those upper level winds do a good job of steering storms in the direction that they are following. So with northwest flow tonight, the storms that are ongoing here in southwest Missouri, instead of moving away from us, they will move to the southeast into northern Arkansas. Josh says, what about Paragould? Yeah, so northeast Arkansas, all of North Arkansas has an opportunity for some storms tonight. Some of them could be strong, Paragould included. Pretty much, if you live in the northern 2 rows of counties, that are stacked rows, northern counties, you have a chance tonight for some storms. Batesville's the same thing, Rhonda. T-Red says, thank you for mentioning us up here, Highland, Ash Flat, Cherokee Village, for all you do. Absolutely. I love my North Arkansas people. I know that you guys get tired of me sometimes in the winter with the snow and stuff, but I really like my North Arkansas people. So Jen says, what time will it hit Bella Vista? Well, we have chances into the late night hours. There is some stuff to your north, but this might miss you if you live in Bella Vista. But if we have a redevelopment, closer to midnight, maybe, it's kind of a toss-up with scattered coverage, unfortunately. Annika says, will there be severe threats for the weekends, for Memorial Day weekend? Yeah, I do think that we'll have an opportunity for some stronger storms, but it doesn't look anything like what we've been dealing with, so that's good. But it does look like a rainy Memorial Day weekend, unfortunately, at times. Eric's asking about Springdale and Fayetteville. Yeah, so we do have a chance for some storms tonight in Springdale and Fayetteville. I think the chance is a little bit lower. A little bit lower than parts of like north central Arkansas. But there is a chance. And I can't get my... I'm so sorry, guys. My graphic went away. I'll pull it up so you guys have a reference instead of looking at the radar, because I know the radar really... Let me pull this up. So hopefully this is a little bit easier to... I don't know why this is doing this either. Okay, there we go. Steven's asking about Morrilton. Not expecting much in Morrilton. It's pretty far south. I think North Arkansas is really the focus for this evening for any scattered storms. Victoria's asking about Rogers, Lowell, and Bentonville. Yeah, so you're in a slight risk, level 2 of 5. Kind of the same thing for other parts of the state there in North Arkansas, where there is a potential that you could see some storms tonight. Hail and wind is the concern with that. Rose says, the only time I get tired of you, Zach, is when I hear a tornado risk. JK, we love you in North Central. Yep, I understand, Rose. Yeah, tonight's not a tornado night, so, but it could be noisy. I know. I'm just glad it doesn't look like the tornado risk is real high. You guys like my pink cup? Nobody make fun of me. April, so I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea where that is. What county are you in? And let me know. As far as somebody had a question earlier about why the tornado in Hot Spring County was not tornado warned. I'm going to address that real quick. Sometimes tornadoes go unwarned, especially when we have a bunch of storms. Tornado warnings, issuing them is not an exact science all the time. Sometimes it can be pretty tough to detect circulations. I'm not taking any shots at the National Weather Service in Little Rock because it's really hard to do sometimes. It just happens. I wish it didn't happen, and hopefully we can get to a point where it doesn't happen, but for now, it's a problem. We need better radars, we need better data, and hopefully we get it someday. Dana's asking about Paris and Subiaco. I'm not expecting much in the River Valley tonight. If you live south of I-40 especially, I think your chances for activity tonight's pretty low. Madison says, my typical radar isn't showing anything here in Sulphur Springs. Is something going on? I got to cover the pool. Madison, so mobile apps, if you're using a mobile app, probably worthless. Well, they're worthless most of the time, but really on nights like tonight, they can struggle because storms might be scattered or isolated. So it's a tough forecast. I think the concentrated area will be in north central Arkansas, which Sulphur Springs is in far northwest Arkansas. But if you don't want anything getting in your pool tonight, I would cover it because there is a chance for some storms in northwest Arkansas too. Emily says, Mountain View, wondering if I should bring my bird feeders and such in. Emily, it might not be a bad idea. Mountain View is in North Arkansas where there is a chance for some scattered storms tonight, and hail and wind is a concern. So if you don't want your bird feeders getting messed up, you might bring them inside. Emma's asking about Randolph County. Yep, so Randolph County is the slight risk area. So Tanisha says, will you go live for tomorrow's risk in southwest Arkansas? If we have tornado warnings, I likely will. I don't usually go live for just a severe thunderstorm warning, but if we have tornado warnings, for sure, yeah. Madison says it is a worthless app. Okay. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. And the news stations, guys, I know that they have their own apps. Some of those are fed by meteorologists and stuff. That's great. But if it's just like a generic app being fed by raw data, it can really struggle. Sometimes they're okay. Emily says, is the risk tornadic or mostly hail? Definitely mostly hail tonight. Christopher says, Weather Channel app is worthless too, right? Because it doesn't show anything. Guys, once again, the reason why your apps aren't showing anything is because the chances tonight are scattered or isolated. Some of you will get nothing, but some of you likely will. I mean, we already have storms in southwest Missouri now. I mean, these storms are going to move into the state. All this activity's got to go somewhere, and it's going to move to the southeast. So your mobile apps just don't do a good job unless there's a big, blob of storms headed your way. Your weather app is just putting up question marks because it doesn't know. That's why your apps aren't showing anything. It is a pink cup. I think it's my wife's cup. I stole it from her. Y'all better not say anything to her. Arbitrary says, do you like Weatherwise? Yeah, I do. I like that and Weatherfront. I've started using Weatherfront lately. I think I'm going to start using Weatherwise for my radar coverage because I'm not happy with how RadarScope looks. I don't like on RadarScope how it only shows certain towns and like it shows Bella Vista, Rogers, Springdale, Fayetteville, but it doesn't show Bentonville. I got to zoom way in to see Bentonville. I don't know. I'm picky like that. Tanisha says, is there a risk for tornadoes tomorrow in southwest Arkansas? Tanisha, I need to look into that more. I haven't dug into the forecast much more. I'll do that later. I'll have an update in the morning, okay? Nothing is 100% predictable. You're correct, Amanda. Natalie says, will it hit Fayetteville? I just joined the live. So there is a chance tonight in Fayetteville. Northwest Arkansas as a whole has an opportunity for some storms tonight, but they could be scattered. So some of you might be missed. Some of you might not. Lori says, is Piggott, Arkansas, Clay County, supposed to get storms? You do have a chance in Piggott and in Clay County late tonight. After dark is what I mean. So here within the next several hours, there is an opportunity. Kim's asking about Carroll and Boone County, Bearville, Green Forest, Harrison. Yeah, so all of North Arkansas, guys, has a chance. If you live in North Arkansas, you have an opportunity tonight to see a storm or two, and that comes with a hail and wind concern through the late night hours. Sorry, guys, I have an important text. Take a couple more questions, guys, and I'm going to get off. Gina says, Zach, you should do weather classes. I appreciate it, Gina, but I'll leave that to the National Weather Service. They're way better at that stuff than me. Mallory says, just jumping on, how does Northeast Arkansas look? So, yeah, there is a chance for storms tonight in all of Northeast Arkansas, North Central, Northwest Arkansas. The risk is for hail and wind. Storms could be scattered, so not everybody will see something, but some of you certainly will. Maddie says, that explains the 20% chance in Searcy. Yes, I think Searcy, a 20-30% chance for storms tonight is that's pretty applicable. So, Sydney says Cross County looks just like maybe thunderstorms or rain. Both. You could see some rainfall, but you might hear some rumbles of thunder as well. I think the chances for any severe weather is a little bit higher to your northwest if you live in Wynn, that part of the state. Kathy says, I'm having trouble finding your midday update with the weekend forecast. Yeah, so it was in my post this morning, my forecast notes earlier this morning. I talked about today, tomorrow, and the weekend forecast if you want to look at that. Eric says, will the wind and hail be like last Sunday? I can never be certain that we won't have strong winds and hail at the same time like we did on Sunday. My hope is that we don't have anything as widespread as we did on Sunday because that was pretty bad. I don't think it will be like Sunday, but there is a chance that somebody gets woken up with hail later or some strong winds. Okay, guys, I'm going to hop off here and go chill for a little bit. I'll keep an eye on the radar. And if we have anything pertinent, I'll probably stay up for a little bit and kind of monitor the storms as they move out of southwest Missouri. Looks like we already have a thunderstorm here near Swifton moving into Craighead County soon. So this is like kind of the start of the thunderstorm chances for this evening. And I want to leave you with this for those of you who may have just now joined or watching a playback. But we have storms in southwest Missouri already. So, these storms have to go somewhere, and they're going to be moving east-southeast tonight. So that's going to move into northern Arkansas at some point within the next hour or two. So thank you guys so much for watching. I want to remind everybody one more time, Gina already shouted them out, but thank you to Jam Mart and the River Valley for sponsoring this, along with 1312 Cleaning and Restoration. If you have a disaster in your home, tornado damage, storm damage, 1312 Cleaning and Restoration is the company that you should call to help you out. So my name is Zachary Hall, otherwise known as the Arkansas